My name is Jason J. Rock Houston, and you're listening to Chaotic Riffs Magazine. We can be found on the web at www.chaoticriffs.com. It's my great pleasure to be speaking with lead singer Sagan Amery from the band Hail Sagan. How you doing tonight, Sagan?
I'm great. How are you?
And I just love that name. I got to ask you, is that your actual real name you're born with, or is that your stage name?
That's my name.
Oh wow, I love it. Does it have any special meaning, or just a unique name your parents came up with?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, you guys are fairly new. You recently signed with the EMP Label Group, which, as many people know, is owned by David Ellison. Now, before signing with the label, did you have any idea who David was, or anything about Megadeth?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that's great. So, oh, yeah. Now, I was curious. How did you get the deal with EMP Label? Did they come to you? Did they approach you, or did you send them some of your material?
It was like a mutual thing. Kind of just ended up.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's great. Now, how long has the band itself been together? Oh, just fairly recently. So, I know you got a great new video for the song. It's called Dark Cloud, and it's great video. The video of the song I found to be very hypnotic, and I think anybody that's like into metal, hard rock can really get down on. Talk a little bit about the song, because I understand it's a song that's about bullying. Did you experience bullying when you were growing up?
Yeah, I think everybody does.
Oh yeah. It's a big.
I mean, in some shape or form, I think everyone. If you either bully someone else, maybe they bully someone else and they were bullied. I think it's a cycle, but yeah, I mean, I was I was different, always into the alternative metal punk scene, always had the colored hair, and of course that brought attention to me from, the kids that were more popular. So yeah, definitely.
Now, that's a great place to start off with. Now, because listening to the single Dark Cloud, I mean, there's definitely a metal element to what you do, a little bit of a hard rock feel. I could kind of even see a little bit of a punk element to what you do. Where would you say you fit in? Like, if you tried to, if you had to label yourself, would you say you're more punk, more metal?
I don't like labels really, and I don't think that's really the core of what I do. So I think if we're talking about where we would place the music, I would say that definitely a hard rock music with a metal backbone. And for me, I tend to kind of cross genres with the music I am inspired by. I like everything from metal to punk. I'm not as big into punk music as I was when I was a teenager. I think the message kind of escapes me now, but I really like hardcore. And I love alternative rock and even some synth pop and stuff like that. It makes good all listen to it.
Yeah, because one thing I got to comment to you on, Sagan, is of course I've only heard the single Dark Cloud, but I got to tell you, for a new band coming up, one thing I can really got to compliment you on, the fact that when you hear a new band, you try to think, okay, who does this band sound like? And I can honestly tell people, just based on the single and the song Dark Cloud, that you guys have a real fresh, original sound. You don't really, I can't really say you sound like Metallica, or you sound like any other band out there. Is that something you kind of set out to do? Kind of wanted to have your own original sound going?
Yeah, I mean, there's enough bands talking up to each other, and we all know that sometimes we're good, sometimes we're not. And for me as a musician, I think I speak on behalf of my fellow musicians in the band, but we take it really seriously, and we are all real musicians. We really hone our craft, and so when it comes down to it, we didn't want to copy off of anyone. And so yeah, we have influences, but if I tell you my influences, you probably won't even hear it because it kind of doesn't translate that well. I think that it was just a matter of us all coming together and saying, look, this is what sounds good. And we've all also agreed that when it comes to music that we write and what we create, is when we listen to it ourselves, when our teenage selves listen to it, I was in the band before, and I can honestly tell you the band I was in before, I would not listen to that music. I didn't like the music, and that's a really big problem. So I think that when you're in a band, if you can put your music on and be an unbiased person and say, I would actually rock out to this, then it's good.
Yeah, again, I got to compliment you on that, because it's very hard, even bands that have been around, for years and years, and got oodles of talent. I mean, typically it's very hard for a band to go in a studio and create something that sounds totally original, because like you're saying, a lot of times a band will go in and they can't help but kind of have their influences coming out in the music. I mean, that's a natural thing. So again, I got to tip my hat to you if you got the ability to go in there and kind of really create something that has a real fresh original sound. It doesn't sound like anything out there, because that's really I think something that's not too easy to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, also with our backgrounds are similar, but they're also different. Like Nick and I are really big Michael Jackson fans. It's something that brought us together, and that's like really cool. But at the same time, Nick is a power man, and that's something that is very different than say like what I would consider hobby, like like more rock metal. And then even like our backgrounds in terms of what we listen to, like I mean, I played around with electronic music in the past and stuff with that. So I think like we all have these elements that we brought together, and that's where Chaotic comes from. It's like the many elements that we all kind of had going on, and then we have a really great engineer, Greg Johnson. Again, his background is much different. So I think like even though we have common bands that we are inspired by, I mean, as musicians, when we got to the table, we brought all those little elements, and that's what needed that personality.
And as far as Sagan, now let's be honest, you're the face and the voice of the band. You're one out there doing most of the interviews, and you're kind of, like I said, the face and the voice. Does that ever? Do you ever feel that pressure? Having all the spotlight attention on you?
No, I mean the guys help out, and if I ever felt like I was overwhelmed with things so good and make some interviews, and that helped out. I can handle it. I've been in a few bands, nothing that's been really big, but I have like an online following, social media following for some time, so I've kind of been used to that. So there's not too much pressure. I would say that right now we're just getting really busy and we're getting ready to go on tour, so like if anything, the pressure is just like, trying to get all that stuff taken care of, and it's great to have the label. EMP is a huge shop already. We've only been signed with them for a little while, and we've already stepped in and they've taken a lot of the work that we have to do on our own as when we're independent. They've taken a lot of that and they've helped out, so that's given us a lot of room to do other things, and expand a little bit with the music, and working on videos. So we can actually focus more on the music as opposed to the practice with all the other stuff that they help out.
And what I love about the story of EMP Label is that's a label that just literally launched in 2016 this year, and they've already put out so many great releases just in the first year. And again, being that David Ellefson's from Megadeth, he could have signed it nothing but like hardcore metal bands, but he's got a little each of the bands on that label, they've got a different sound to them, which I really
that's a sign of a smart business person.
Yeah.
It's an intelligent move in terms of like music isn't just one genre, and there's so many different versions of metal too. I mean, people, I know that there's metalheads that are like, no, it's just this way, but you have to have more of an open mind. There's all kinds of versions of metal, there's different genres.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. And David Ellefson and Tom Taylor, they're music veterans. They know what they're doing, and so whether they handpick bands, they know what they're going after, and so that's why the label's successful. It's smaller independent label. I see it getting much bigger. I mean, you saw that the acquisition of Century and Sony earlier this year. I could close the EMP, at some point, if they were ever so inclined to want to do something like that, being part of a larger, if they want to, because they're that good.
Yeah, I mean, you got in, like I said, the first year that this label's been launched, and they've really done so much, in this short amount of time. And the other thing I love is that it's a label that's owned, by a guy that's an actual musician himself. So, the label's not just a guy in a suit that has no experience as a musician. The fact that Dave's, been doing this all these years, he could tell somebody like you, like, hey, this is how you do it. I've been here, and he can really give you some really, good advice as opposed to a guy that's never, stepped foot on a stage.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about the music industry, that there are people like that that are higher musicians that have never even touched an instrument or never on stages, and they think they know the best of music, and they really don't. So it's nice to have people in this label that actually help in there. They've all toured, they've all, been in bands, and they've seen every everything and they know everything, and so it's like, yeah, you don't have to worry about that part of it. And it's cool too because, you know, a musician like Sagan sort of made it sure he's done everything. He could literally kick back when he's on foreign be on vacation and it's
Yeah.
people, which is cool because that means that he cares about other coming musicians. So there's some musicians out there that couldn't care less about, you know, the smaller bands that are trying to make it. So it's nice to see him giving back like that.
Yeah, you know, I think it'd be cool too. Another great band that's on that label is a great female band is Dollskin. I think it'd be cool if you guys could hook up and, you know, do a tour or something down the line.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we got signed at the same time that they had already launched the tour, so it was too, you know, late for us to get on that tour.
Yeah.
I know that they're busy, as us, and I know that's really hard to connect with, you know, on that level. But I would love to sit down. I know the music's a little on the popular punk side, but I still like punk music, you know. But it's not a big part of my life as it was when I was a little younger, but I'm totally into it, and I would, you know, definitely, you know, take this under the record.
And like you mentioned earlier, you've been in some previous bands before this, but are you at all surprised at how fast this band has taken off?
It's kind of funny. It kind of goes both ways for me. Sometimes on some days I'm like, I can't believe how big, how fast. And,
Yeah.
you know, I tell people when they ask, like, it just comes from all the effort you put forth. You either want it or you don't want it. And if you really want it and you do it the right way, you can have it. You just have to work so hard. It's like getting a job. So I tell people, if you become a musician, you can do things that like busy keeping and flag off, and then forget it because that's not what it is. You don't have to work. So, you know, working hard and getting where we are. Yeah, it's like sometimes, wow, it's crazy. But then, you know, it really depends. There's days where you're like, I want to, you know, I have such higher heights I set for myself as a musician and as a band collectively. We're like, we haven't even gotten anywhere near where we plan on getting. But then there's other days where we feel like, wow, we've really accomplished a lot. So it goes day to day.
Yeah, and you know, just think about all those years when you were bullied in school, whatever. You know, just think of how much you've accomplished, and all those people that bullied you back in the day. You know, when they like to know you.
It's not even back in the day. Like, I think bullying, as a human being that has ever had any issues being picked on or kind of calling and bullying, you know, it does follow you with your childhood. And even like, you know, I've even in the music industry, I've dealt with bullies. I've dealt with people who, you know, whether it was because I was a girl and they thought that they could, you know, because I'm female, you know, and they thought that I'm not strong enough, or, you know, just because they felt maybe that they had more experience than me. For whatever reason, I have dealt with that in this industry in the last few years, where someone had pushed me around and tried to, you know, bully me, and that's part of one of the reasons why I wrote. That's part of the reason for Dark Cloud. Like, I wrote the lyrics to that song about bullying. When I was writing that, I was experiencing, you know, the aftermath of someone that recently dealt with it. So, like, I think that even as adults, even with you know, social media and everything,
Of course.
You know, bullying is a huge thing because people are hiding behind, you know, their smartphone or whatever, and, you know, everyone's kind of pushing each other's buttons, and I see this, and I'm like, wow, you know, I have to call attention to it. Maybe I could have made a video just about me, but that's...
Yeah, and I imagine, I imagine being in the music industry and being a woman, like you say, that's almost a double-edged thorn, is, you know, because you have people telling you on one hand how great you look, and they're focusing on your image and everything, as opposed to where you probably are a lot of times thinking, you know, I wish they'd, you know, focus more on, you know, my music, the way it sounds, as opposed to the way I look.
The thing is that you'll come out and, you know, when you make it and you're starting to make it, and you get these guys to say, oh, she just got it, this is a hot chick, and she's a Barbie doll. It's like, first of all, I'm not a Barbie doll. Second of all, like, no one's pretty much fashion being I've always been my whole life, and, you know, we didn't have any help until recently, so this was all on our own. And then the other thing is, actually being a chick that has, you know, attractive features who gets a lot of attention does not make it easier, because maybe in some circumstances, but in others it makes it harder because I wasn't taken seriously. I had to fight for this.
Oh, I bet.
For 2 years, and I've been fighting for this. Like, I've had to really prove myself, because most of the dudes in this industry didn't want to look at me like, you know, like, oh, you're just a chick, you know, like, go stand together chicks, you know. It's like, I had to fight for this position to be taken seriously. This was really one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life, and it's funny because I think people they underestimate that. They underestimate it and say, oh, well, because she's a chick, you know, they just handed it to her. It's like, that's actually the opposite of what happened, and so I get a little, like, aggravated when people...
Oh, I bet, yeah, and that's why I'd imagine, you know, when you finally got the news that, hey, you got this record deal, we're going to sign you to this EMP Label Group, that had to be the ultimate, ultimate dream come true.
Yeah, because that's a door that opened after like 100 million other doors have shut in my face over the last few years.
Yeah.
Like, so like, yeah, with this band, it's you, it's just only been a few months, but I've been in other bands where it was like no one would even talk to us. So like, like, it wasn't that, oh, we got lucky. It's like,
oh, no.
It's hard, but in order to get to this position where I could even be in a room with musicians at an upper echelon that will fit and right with me in a perfect way where the music actually sounds pro, that right there is handed to me as well. It's like, I have first skill thing. You just can't walk in the door and get that. People won't just hand that to you. It doesn't matter who you are, how good you are, who you're related to, that has nothing to do with it. I had to serve myself, and that's why I always tell when people ask me, like, you know, how to do it, like, do hard work, like, that really does pay off. It absolutely does. But it's frustrating, too.
Yeah, and again, like you're saying earlier, David Ellefson, he's a musician that's been doing this for years. He could just go on tour with his own band Megadeth, and he could live the rest of his life, happily ever after, so to speak. But the fact that he'd sign you and all these other great up and coming bands to his label, that tells you right there that he sees something in you. He sees some level of talent. If he thought you were just another pretty face, I don't think he'd be signing you, just because that's not going to make him a lot of money, so to speak. So
yeah, no, because I talked to him, and he does believe in Sagan, and we believe in what we're doing. He sees that we're hard workers. He sees that we care about our career, and that we care about the fun, we care about the music, we care about. And it's not just about going out there and making money, because as we all know, musicians don't really take any money.
No. And that's.
So it's about being able to get out there and perform and connect with people and that music saves people and some reasons.
The same. Yeah.
Together and see a greater picture from that. Like that's what city saw the bigger picture of it.
Yeah, if I look at all these bands that he's already signed to the label, the one thing I can say about all the bands on the roster, they're all really, really super talented bands, and he's really got an eye for these bands that have some kind of talent to bring to the table. And like you were saying earlier, Sagan, I could see in a couple of years this label being the equivalent of something like Century Media or something. Look at what they've done in this short amount of time, just the first year that they launched the label. So I think they're off to a great start. And now I'd like to talk a little more about your band. Now it's kind of interesting, you guys are getting ready to go on the road, and you don't even have like a full-length album. I know you're working on some new music. So the plan at this point to kind of get the band out there on the road so more people know about you, and then you kind of release, like a lot of bands are doing these days, maybe a single at a time, and when you got enough music, maybe put out like a full CD?
No, we've actually completed our EP and ready to go. It's been ready to go.
Oh.
We're holding up until the fall. I believe we're going to be doing it sometime in October.
Oh, great.
Through E1 distribution, through EMP Label. So, so we're going to be distributing it in October. So that's all ready to go and finished. And the tour will coincide with that. We'll start touring in October. We're going to do a national tour. It's going to be a full national tour in the United States. And we're doing a short West Coast run at the end of this month in August. So we kicked off at Spokane on August 31st at the Pin. And then we go from there and we'll do a short little West Coast run. And then we'll get ready to go out into the whole national tour.
Well, great. And I got to ask, how happy have you been with the response to the Dark Cloud, the video and the single? Because to me, it's the first thing I've heard from you guys, and I just fell in love. It's to me, the track, it's very hypnotic, and I gotta say, the video is very professionally shot. It looks like something could have been on MTV back in the day. Talk a little bit about the video. Did it take very long for you guys to shoot that?
It was actually a one-day, 18-hour shoot.
Wow.
So that was my first video production, and people stuck in it. I came up with the concept of the anti-bullying and anti-abuse. We have a couple different scenarios in the video where people are being abused. I think it's all bullying, no matter what it is. But, so we sat down and we thought of it. We had to cast the roles for the actors that we used, and so we took care of the production, and we had a great team that Matthew Crong, the director, and Peggy Skilling. So we basically spent the 18 hours. We did storyboarding all of it, and kind of figured out from the beginning how we were going to have it raw, and it actually went off really perfect. I was actually surprised. All the actors showed up on time, everything was on schedule. We actually finished a half hour or an hour before schedule. So, the thing about it that was really cool was that kind of forgot about me. It's hilarious because I'm like the centerpiece of the band, but we forgot about me and my role. So we knew that I was going to do something, and we had like set aside for us. And I also specified on that. And so when we got to my turn to actually like record my parts, it was like, oh wait, we never actually wrote out anything for me to actually do in this scene. So that was all again like impromptu. That was like, you know, off the cuff. It took 2 shots, and I just did it that way. So that's how it came out. So.
Yeah. And would you have any interest like in doing in any more acting down the line, or is music strictly your thing?
I'm not really into it. I've been asked, being in Los Angeles, I've been here for a few years, and I've been asked to do some stuff. I mean, if it was the right role, I would definitely do it. It has to be something that I really, really would into. I've never acted, so...
Yeah.
I don't know good. I wouldn't be an acting, but I think right now I just want to focus on music.
That's great. That's great.
Getting it on tour. The song Dark Cloud is received so well. It's overwhelming to me how many people love it, and all those stories that people share with me about bullying and abuse. And it's awesome. And you know, what was great is that as much as everyone loves the Dark Cloud, I think that's like such a huge song. It's like that's only key, but the other songs are like so much better.
Well, yeah. Well, I got to be honest with you, Sagan. Before your publicist hooked up with me and we set up the interview, I never heard anything about the band, and then I was doing a little research on the band, and I thought, wow, this is great looking band, and I dug the song. But when I saw the video, my immediate response was this. Not only did I fall in love with the song and love the song, but I thought, man, I got to hear more music from this band. If this is this good, I can't wait to hear more stuff. And
so, I'm really excited about that because I love the music, and it's something I would absolutely enjoy this again if it wasn't my music. And so that makes me really excited, and because that's a hard place to come to as a musician to say I really love it. There's nothing about it that I hate. You get annoyed by your own music.
Yeah.
And I want to share it with everybody. I'm so excited to be able to have that easy release. But if I had it my way, I'd throw it all out there right now.
Yeah. And to me, that's got to be a great feeling to you. Like you said, I mean, it'd be one thing to just go and make a record and kind of go in and record your vocals over songs that other people wrote. But these are songs you've written and created, and how great of a feeling that must be that you went in there and made the music you wanted to make, not what somebody dictated for you to make.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like a street opposite, like people bullshit from back for you all the girls.
Yeah.
We worked together really closely. Nick, wrote the guitar riffs, and he wrote them exclusively for me. It wasn't like, that they were like manufactured songs. It was like he wrote them, and in terms of the lyrics and even with emotion, because there's definitely emotion. He wrote them in the beginning, he was in a part of it. When I write and when I record, there's like this feeling I had, and so there's a theme for each song, and you'll feel that not only visually with a video, but actually in the lyrical content and the way that I sing. I always put emotion into it, so you can kind of feel that angsty feeling that I feel when I'm recording it, and maybe kind of words in my head at the moment, or when I wrote the lyrics.
And to me, that's a sign of a great musician and songwriter. The fact that most people might know Nick from his other band, Power Man 5000. There are some musicians where every band they're in, or every piece of music they record sounds exactly the same. I mean, he could have come in and made this, Power Man 5000 Part 2, but the fact that he can go in there and he can make what he's writing fit for the project, or fit for the that particular album, or that particular band. I mean, that's to me a sign of a great musician and a great writer.
Oh, absolutely. He's hands down the most talented musician I've met. I mean, and that's true. It's like being in Power Man with different types of music, and going from that to this is definitely it shows the talent. He's really easy to work with, and it's really easy for him to write. I've never sat with a musician that can just like easily, but it's fluid and it works with my vocals. That's the other thing is, if someone can write, doesn't mean it's going to work with someone who's vocal that can be contradictory. So that we were able to meld together so easily really shows that this is meant to be, and that it's line up great and bad thing in terms of musicians that can come together. And then with our engineer, he's really talented engineer, so I'm often down in a room with it, just turn these like demos into like songs, and for work the way that it did, how they all work together so well. I thought it was like magical.
And see, and on your part, that's another great thing that I see you're smart in doing. That you could have just made this into like a solo project, but you're smart enough to surround yourself with other people that are equally as talented as you. So.
I'm all about the credit for like even with my team, whether mixers, directors, producers, anybody. I want to create a team of people that we can bring to the next level because, I think music is about evolution. It's so like you've got the greats that are up there, but they're getting to the point where eventually they're probably going to retire or they're just going to do it.
Yeah.
So like you need a whole new generation of musicians to come up and do this. And so for that, you need like a good team that you can trust in that. But they're also work well with you because like I said, they have talented someone that doesn't necessarily need to mesh with them. So that we all work together so well. Really, I think speaks for itself in terms of where we're going and how great this people are.
And I was curious, how did you and Nick first hook up?
Nick and I, we started talking, and I was actually, I had just left my old project Caveat, and I was talking to a few different people in the industry here about a couple different possibilities for directions of which way I was going to go, because at that point I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I had some really great people that were trying to work with me, and some great offers. There were a bunch of meetings and stuff like that. And they said, let me write a song for you. And at that point, I didn't really know because he was Power Man, and I didn't want to do music like Power Man. I wasn't sure, and I said, oh, well, all right, write something in this beat. And that Dark Cloud was the first one, and we just came together and we kind of scrapped out a demo pretty quickly and in the studio, and then we took it to the engineer, and then that's when I started to do a whole EP together, and the songs just kind of went from there. It was kind of one of those things like, oh, let me write for you and see what happens.
And then the drummer I see is a guy named Andrew Weisenberg.
He's our other guitar player, Andrew Weisenberg.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's our other guitar player. So, drums and bass right now, we're keeping quiet. So what we decided to do with the masks, as you saw in the video, the masks were kind of like these figures that came along and saved these people from their abusive situations. And so, music kind of saves, I guess, is how that kind of plays out. But the whole idea behind the masks is you never get to put me under there. So we're not divulging the identities of all the members because we will have all-star players up there every once in a while for particular shows. We are not announcing it in advance. It would be one of those things where we're on the stage and there's a power player up there and we decide at the end of that match what the player's happening.
Oh, cool. I like that. I mean, it's kind of, like Kiss back in the day where nobody, once upon a time knew what any of those guys looked like. And then you got even bands like Slipknot these days that do the same type of thing. And,
Yeah, you don't really always know what's under there. And the great thing about it too is that we can bring fans up as well. So I'm thinking of doing something where at some point I'll have fan submissions where fans can send in their auditions and songs, and we're in their cities, possibly pick them up and play some songs under the mask, and no one knows who's up there, and they can show their personal.
Wow, what a cool idea that is.
Opportunity for a bunch of people, yeah.
Wow, I love it. Well, Sagan, am I saying your name right, by the way? Is it Sagan?
Yeah, it's
Sagan. Okay, and I just want to thank you, first of all, so much for taking time talking. I really enjoyed talking to you. And, once the album comes out and I get a chance to hear the rest of the album, I'd like to talk to you again and really, help promote the album once it hits, or the new CD. So please keep in touch, and I'll let you know when the interview goes. It'll probably be going up sometime in early to mid-August. But thanks so much for taking time to talk to us. We really enjoyed it.
Thank you, too. It was great to talk to you. I appreciate it.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.